In the heart of West Africa, a young man born 37 years ago has risen to become a symbol of resistance against centuries of exploitation. Ibrahim Traoré, a military leader from Burkina Faso, has emerged as a formidable challenge to Western powers, particularly Europe and the United States. Africa, a continent blessed with abundant natural resources, continues to grapple with crippling poverty and hunger despite its lands yielding gold, oil, and minerals for centuries. Why does such destitution persist in a region so rich? Who is Ibrahim Traoré, and what bold steps has he taken to position himself as a potential leader not just of Burkina Faso, but of the entire African continent? This young Muslim leader has become a beacon of hope for millions of impoverished Africans, igniting dreams of a future free from foreign domination. Let's explore his extraordinary story and the transformative journey of Burkina Faso under his leadership. Burkina Faso, a land of contrasts. Burkina Faso, a landlocked nation in West Africa, is a study in stark contrasts. Covering 274,223 square kilometers, it is home to approximately 22.5 million people. The country's cultural diversity is reflected in its primary languages, Moré, Bissa, Dioula, and Fulfulde, which are recognized as national languages. However, English and French dominate official institutions, a lingering legacy of colonial rule. Burkina Faso is a Muslim-majority nation, with 63.8% of its population adhering to Islam, 23.6% practicing Christianity, and the remainder following indigenous or other faiths. The nation's soil is rich in gold, making Burkina Faso Africa's fourth largest gold producer, with an annual output of 80. Yet despite this wealth, the majority of its people live below the poverty line, and the national treasury remains chronically depleted. The paradox is glaring. A country that should be prosperous is mired in poverty. The question looms large: where does Burkina Faso's wealth disappear to, and why do its people continue to suffer? Ibrahim Traoré, a rising star. Born on March 14, 1988 in Burkina Faso, Ibrahim Traoré is a 37-year-old military leader who now holds significant authority in the nation. A man of intelligence, patriotism, and unyielding resolve, Traoré's journey is one of remarkable ascent. He joined the military in 2009 while pursuing his education, demonstrating a rare blend of discipline and intellectual curiosity. By 2020, he had risen to the rank of military leadership, a position that gave him a front-row view of his country's deep-seated inequalities. Traoré observed a nation divided. Corrupt leaders indulged in opulent lifestyles, while the masses and even the military struggled to survive. Many Burkinabe citizens could afford only one meal a day, often going to bed hungry. The military, tasked with protecting the nation, was similarly underfunded and demoralized. These injustices fueled Traoré's determination to bring about change. In January 2022, a military coup toppled the government, with Traoré playing a pivotal role in the uprising. The military initially appointed Lieutenant Colonel Paul-Henri Damiba as interim president, but his failure to address the nation's challenges led to his removal. With the unified support of the armed forces, Traoré assumed leadership in October 2022, sparking hope that he could steer Burkina Faso away from Western influence and toward a new era of self-reliance and dignity. Confronting Western exploitation. For centuries, Western powers, particularly France, have plundered Africa's resources, gold, minerals, natural gas, and oil, while leaving its people in destitution. Burkina Faso has been a prime target, with vast quantities of its gold extracted by French companies, leaving the nation impoverished. Traoré's leadership has been defined by his fearless efforts to dismantle this system of exploitation. His key actions include expelling French forces. In a move that sent shockwaves across Europe and America, Traoré issued a notice in January 2023 to expel French military forces from Burkina Faso. This decision ended a long-standing French military presence, which many Burkinabe viewed as a symbol of neo-colonial control. Canceling mining licenses. Traoré revoked licenses for gold and other mineral exports, effectively halting France's ability to extract Burkina Faso's natural wealth. This bold step aimed to redirect the country's resources toward domestic development. Banning Western influence. To sever cultural and political ties with France, Traoré prohibited the education of Burkinabe leaders' children in French institutions. He also closed European embassies and expelled their diplomats, signaling a complete rejection of Western interference. Forging new alliances. Traoré has sought alternative partnerships to reduce Burkina Faso's dependence on the West. His visit to Russia in July 2023, where he secured agreements in nuclear energy and trade, underscored his commitment to diversifying alliances. Arriving in his military uniform, Traoré sent a powerful message of defiance and sovereignty. These actions have elevated Traoré to hero status across Africa. In a stirring speech, he declared, "We will either win or suffer great losses, but we will not retreat. Africa will achieve freedom from Europe." His courage, however, comes at a steep price. Traoré has survived over 20 assassination attempts, a testament to the dangers he faces from those threatened by his reforms. Yet, his resolve remains unbroken, inspiring millions across the continent. The harsh reality of Burkina Faso. Burkina Faso's capital, Ouagadougou, spans 219 square kilometers and is home to approximately 1.5 million people. While relatively more developed than other regions, it reflects the nation's broader struggles. Roads are a mix of paved and unpaved, and poverty fuels high crime rates. Despite these challenges, the Burkinabe people are known for their warmth, resilience, and strong sense of community. The nation's currency, previously the West African CFA franc, a symbol of French economic control, has been replaced as part of Traoré's efforts to assert economic sovereignty. Burkina Faso's international calling code is +226, and its internet domain is .bf. With a per capita income of $2,682, the country ranks 171st globally, underscoring its economic challenges. Thousands of Burkinabe citizens die annually due to inadequate healthcare and lack of access to quality education, highlighting the urgent need for systemic reform. Poverty in Burkina Faso is not just a statistic, it is a lived reality. Many families struggle to secure clean water and sufficient food, while children often forego education to work and support their households. The nation's infrastructure, from hospitals to schools, is in dire need of investment. Traoré's leadership seeks to address these issues, but the path to recovery is long and fraught with obstacles, a legacy of resistance. History is replete with examples of African leaders who dared to challenge Western dominance, only to face dire consequences. Figures like Saddam Hussein and Muammar Gaddafi paid the ultimate price for their defiance, either through assassination or orchestrated regime change. Traoré's actions place him in this lineage of resistance, making him a target for those who benefit from Africa's exploitation. His survival thus far is a testament to his strategic acumen and the loyalty of his supporters, both within the military and among the general populace. Traoré's leadership has resonated far beyond Burkina Faso's borders. He has become a symbol of hope for Africans seeking to break free from neo-colonial chains. His message of self-reliance and unity has inspired movements in neighboring countries like Mali and Niger, which have also taken steps to distance themselves from former colonial powers. If Traoré's vision takes root, it could spark a broader African renaissance, redefining the continent's place in the global order. The road ahead for Burkina Faso. Traoré's leadership marks a turning point for Burkina Faso, but the challenges ahead are formidable. Decades of economic exploitation have left the nation's infrastructure in tatters and its people struggling to survive. The healthcare system is critically underfunded, with thousands dying annually from preventable diseases. Education remains inaccessible for many, perpetuating a cycle of poverty. Traoré's reforms aim to address these issues, but transforming a nation so deeply entrenched in systemic challenges requires time, resources, and unwavering commitment. Economic independence. Traoré's decision to reclaim control over Burkina Faso's natural resources is a cornerstone of his vision for economic independence. By halting foreign exploitation of gold, he aims to redirect wealth toward domestic development. However, this move has disrupted short-term revenue streams, creating economic challenges that must be carefully managed. Traoré has sought to mitigate this by forging new trade partnerships, particularly with Russia and other non-Western nations. These alliances could provide the technological and financial support needed to rebuild Burkina Faso's economy, but they also carry risks of new forms of dependency. Social reforms. Beyond economics, Traoré is committed to improving the lives of ordinary Burkinabe citizens. His ban on educating elite's children in France is part of a broader effort to foster national pride and invest in local institutions. Plans to expand access to healthcare and education are underway, though progress is slow due to limited resources. Traoré has also emphasized unity among Burkina Faso's diverse ethnic and religious groups, recognizing that collective strength is essential to overcoming external exploitation. Security challenges. Burkina Faso faces significant security threats, particularly from insurgent groups and terrorist organizations operating in its northern regions. Traoré, as a military leader, has prioritized strengthening the armed forces to protect the nation's sovereignty. His decision to expel French troops was driven by their failure to curb these threats despite years of presence. However, building a robust domestic security apparatus is a complex and costly endeavor, requiring a delicate balance between defense spending and investments in social welfare.
Pan-African Vision.
What sets Traoré apart is his ambition to inspire change across Africa. His actions resonate with a growing movement to reclaim sovereignty over resources and decision-making. Countries like Mali and Niger have followed Burkina Faso's lead, signaling a regional shift toward independence. Traoré's rhetoric emphasizes African unity, advocating for collective action to break free from economic dependency. His international engagements, such as his visit to Russia, aim to build a coalition that can counter Western influence. If successful, Traoré could redefine Africa's global standing, transforming it into a continent that commands respect and autonomy. The risks of defiance. Traoré's bold stance has made him a target. The history of African leaders who challenged Western powers is grim. Many have been assassinated, overthrown, or marginalized. Traoré's survival of over 20 assassination attempts underscores the dangers he faces. His reliance on military support and grassroots popularity provides some protection, but the threat of foreign interference remains ever present. Western nations, particularly France, have significant economic and political interests in Africa and may seek to undermine Burkina Faso's defiance. Internally, Traoré's rapid reforms risk alienating segments of the population. The elite, who benefited from ties to Western powers, may resist his policies. Economic disruptions caused by the boycott of foreign companies could lead to short-term hardships, testing the patience of a population already weary from poverty. Traoré must navigate these challenges with care to maintain public support and avoid destabilizing the nation. A beacon of hope. Despite the risks, Ibrahim Traoré represents a new generation of African leaders, young, determined, and unapologetically patriotic. His rise from a military captain to a national and continental icon is a story of courage and conviction. For the people of Burkina Faso, he is a symbol of hope, a leader who dares to dream of a future where their country's wealth benefits its citizens, not foreign powers. Across Africa, Traoré's message resonates with millions who yearn for dignity and self-determination. His success could inspire a wave of transformation, proving that African nations can break free from the chains of exploitation. However, the road to freedom is fraught with obstacles, and Traoré's journey is far from over. A call for solidarity. As we reflect on Ibrahim Traoré's mission, let us stand in solidarity with the people of Burkina Faso. Their struggle is not just for their own nation, but for the soul of Africa. Traoré's courage reminds us that change is possible, even in the face of overwhelming odds. Let us hope and pray that he remains safe and succeeds in his mission to liberate his people and inspire a continent. This is a story of resilience, defiance, and hope, a story that deserves to be shared. Let us spread awareness of Burkina Faso's fight for freedom and support the dream of a prosperous, independent Africa. Thank you for joining us in this exploration of a leader and a nation at a crossroads. Until we meet again, may peace, progress, and justice prevail.